price.
Hey, Tip Tuesday viewers, welcome back to another episode of Tip Tuesday. We love that you're here. And to show us you're finding value in these videos, please do us a favor and reach up and click the subscribe button or the follow button on whatever platform you are listening or watching us on. Both Ryan and I would really appreciate it, wouldn't we, Ryan?
We would, yeah. Thank you all for the support. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. This is kind of, I don't know. I find this stuff fun. Maybe I'm a little bit of a realtor geek, a real estate geek. I don't know. But I find this stuff kind of interesting. Today's topic is kind of along the lines of what buyers might subconsciously be thinking when they enter your home. Some homes lose buyers before the buyer even says a word. And it's not always one big problem. It could be little things, small signs that the buyer's just, assessing and registering as this feels poorly maintained. This feels neglected. This feels hard to trust. And they might not necessarily be right. But there are some things as a seller, and they're small things, Ryan, but there are some things as a seller that you can do to sort of help that not happen, or help the buyers feel a little bit more comfortable, like your home was properly maintained and they can trust that. So I'm going to share a couple of those little things here today. And Ryan, I'd love your input here and there, because I know that you are, you've been in the industry like me for a couple of decades, and you've probably had some of these conversations yourself.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm happy to go through these.
One big thing that I notice often, and I know a lot of buyers are looking at it too, especially if they're a little bit more savvy, is dirty or clogged AC filters. It can quietly signal lack of maintenance, especially in Arizona, where ACs matter so much to us, right? We were just talking about this before we got on the show. And I know that, based on conversations with AC professionals, that it can impact the life of your AC unit. It certainly can impact, how it functions and whatnot. What do you think, Ryan? Do you see a lot of that?
Yeah, I mean, and good news for sellers, that's an easy one, just setting your reminder every 3 months to change those filters out.
Right.
It's an easy one, it's relatively cheap, if you go to Costco and buy like a year's worth of filters, but it really, like you said, the AC unit, it really elongates the age of those units, and really shows that you're taking proper care of the home.
100%. And it's the worst when I'm walking through a property with a buyer and like a little piece of dust falls down. Yeah. From the AC unit or the intake, and you look up and it's like caved into the roof or the ceiling. That's bad, guys. We don't want to see that. Buyers don't want to see that. That's definitely a red flag, and something that you as a seller, with all the things you have to think about, might not be thinking of. Another thing that's really huge, and honestly, a buyer will just emotionally check out, especially women, is odors. Smells are giant. And that's like, for example, pet odor, cigarette smell, garbage smell, dirty dishes, mildew, heavy food. Like maybe you had a fish fry the night before. That kind of stuff, buyers will, I've had it happen more times than I can count. Buyers will walk the threshold, it hits them, and they're out. They won't even look at the house.
That's big, isn't it? Because the first thing when you walk in, your first impression is going to be the smell. So, yep, that's it.
Huge. And yeah, and I absolutely don't want a pregnant mama with me, because they have supersonic smell and they definitely pick up on that. So certainly make sure that you guys are taking care of that stuff and keeping that on the forefront of your mind. Another thing too is, don't try to mask it with overpowering candles, plugins, those Glade plugins that were really popular for a while, or air fresheners, because that can make the buyers kind of suspicious, thinking what's being covered up here, because that can be very overpowering, those scents. Another thing along the lines of the AC filter, Arizona's dusty. I'm from New England, and we didn't used to have to dust our furniture every single day. Like we would go a couple of weeks, before we had to do that. Here in Arizona, it's definitely a bit different, and it matters. Like dirty baseboards, ceiling fans. If you've had your ceiling fans running for a couple of months and then all of a sudden you stop them, they're going to be pretty caked with dust. Trust me, try it. Go home and shut them off and you'll see. Again, vents, like we discussed, door jambs, tops of door jambs, window sills. If you have some people have those decorative window sills, and if not, you do have sort of a shelf there, right, where your window sort of sets in, and those can collect dust quite a bit, and that just makes buyers feel like this home has not been properly maintained. This home hasn't been cared for.
It's the small things, isn't it? The small details that really speak volumes.
Truly. I have been through many a home with people that have made comments about baseboards, guys. Baseboards are big. Make sure you guys are dusting your baseboards. Another thing that can turn a buyer off is overstuffed closets. So if you have decluttered your living spaces, which is really great, you really need to do that, but you've stuffed everything in a super packed closet or storage area, buyers are going to open that door. They're going to look into that storage area because they're viewing the home, right? And especially if stuff's like falling out on them, they're going to feel like the home lacks enough storage. So you definitely want to take care of that. I'll often tell my people, get a storage unit. If you have, if the reason you're moving out of the house is because you've outgrown it, right? Like, what are you going to do? Get a storage unit and put those items in a storage unit, because you don't want to send the wrong message to the buyer.
Yeah, you're moving out anyway, so just do a little, premature moving out, thin things out a little bit. Yep.
100%. It's a win-win. It's going to help you when the time comes that you actually got to get up and go, right?
Absolutely. Another
thing that I know will totally turn a buyer off, and this is somewhat small, is pest droppings, dead bugs, visible critters. They can create an emotional reaction and a fear of infestation. So even if you don't have a problem, like I don't have a problem at my house, but I'm going to have something every once in a while, right? Like I feel like we always do. And we keep up on our pest control pretty well, but there's still, change in season, for example, things happen. Make sure that you guys are cleaning that stuff up. The worst thing is when I open up a door to a house or I walk into a garage and there's a big giant cockroach on its back with its legs, doing the thing, the creepy thing. That's the worst. I will tell you right now, women will duck and run. So
even I would duck and run. Yeah. No like bugs.
No kidding. Yeah, that's a big one. Another very small thing you might not think about, and hopefully you did before you got listing photos, but burned out light bulbs can also make a home feel darker, less cared for, not comfortable, not inviting. Peeling, caulking, dark spots, discoloration around tubs and sinks, and even windows really, can make buyers worry about moisture, mold, deferred maintenance, all of those sort of things. And they're just kind of like making that mental checklist, and that could just push them over the edge, something like that. Especially, and I don't want to keep picking on moms here, but especially moms. We're very, I have the mold conversation a lot, and there is this idea out there that Arizona doesn't have mold, but I will assure you that it does. But it definitely is a big factor for young families, pregnant mamas and mamas with kiddos. So that's something that'll make them just turn right around and go out the door. Also, like water staining on the ceiling, baseboards, walls. So if you've had an issue, but you've repaired the issue, cool, great. That's something you absolutely should be doing. Leaks need to be dealt with immediately, but don't leave the remnants behind. Make sure that you are, fixing that spot in the ceiling. Make sure, obviously disclose it. I'm not saying don't disclose or hide anything, but make sure that you're fixing it, because somebody's going to walk in, and even if we tell them, hey, that's been repaired, it still doesn't feel repaired to them if they can see that stain.
Yeah, so that's a big one, because it just points to mold, plumbing leaks, and especially roof problems. One of the biggest expenses when it comes to, your home is roof replacement. So yeah, that's a big one. 100%.
Another just a handful of other items here, guys, is dead landscaping or neglected curb appeal. it could create a bad first impression. That's the first thing that they see that is really huge for a lot of people. And it could just give them the feeling, again, it could be totally subconscious as well. We might not even know that the buyer is thinking this. They may not communicate this, but it could feel like this home is just neglected. If it's neglected before I walk into it, what am I going to walk into?
That's one you don't think about as much, you know, but it's the first thing you look at, and you only get one chance at a first impression.
That's it. Only one chance. And then lastly, guys, and again, this is just a quick list that I put together of the main things that I do have conversations with buyers about when they do communicate it with me. And just from, 20 years of showing buyers, I've kind of picked up along the way. So the last thing that I have on this list is dirty windows and dirty tracks, like door tracks, window tracks, just make the whole home feel less maintained. So before you get photos on your listing, you should be doing this anyway. Get those windows clean, get the tracks cleaned, your doors cleaned, that kind of thing. You can do it yourself. That's totally fine. A lot of people do, but get that cleaned. It makes a really big difference. And buyers are, Ryan, I know you do the money side of things, so maybe you don't have this conversation as much as I do, but buyers aren't just looking at the house. They're looking for signals about how well that home has been cared for. Even though we're going to have an inspection, right? They're still mentally assessing that. They're still mentally calculating that.
Yeah, they want to see that pride of ownership if they're going to be owning the property, and if they do have that and you can see that it's been well maintained, that really makes a big impact.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's the end of my list, which is a good thing because this is the first Tip Tuesday that has gone to like 12 minutes. It's supposed to be between
things to look for.
There are. And I know that that'll be helpful to someone out there. I'm sure it will be. If that is you and you want to check out any of our previous episodes, hop on over to our YouTube channel. It is at Team EvoAZ. That's our handle. Scroll down just a touch and you will see the Tip Tuesday playlist. YouTube also offers Tip Tuesday podcast style, so you can listen to it in your ears there or on your favorite podcast platform. Do a quick search for Arizona Real Estate Radio. There you will find us. Please like the episode, share the episode with somebody that you think might find value in it as well. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Looking for the right home loan can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Hi, I'm Ryan Gilliam, an Arizona native with 20 years of experience helping families find the best mortgage solution for their needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or refinancing, I make the process simple, stress-free, and tailored just for you. I help you access better rates, offer guidance tailored to your goals, and make the mortgage approval process easier every step of the way. Your best mortgage starts with the right partner. Let's make your home goals happen. Reach out today.